Plami, and in this episode of Plami's Thoughts On, I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts to the third episode of the 13th season of what used to be one of my favorite shows ever, Doctor Who. And yeah, I agree with most people's opinion about this episode. It was pretty fucking bad. I mean, at least I think that's what's the most common opinion. And the thing is, this episode is not really bad in the same way other episodes in the Chibnall era have been. Like, this season is easily better than anything from the Chibnall era. It's like 2 or 3 steps above every single other episode. Even some really overrated episodes that people for some reason really love overrating, like Rosa and Demons of Punjab, which I don't think are good episodes at all. I think they're garbage. But this episode was bad in a different way. In a way that is very reminiscent of the way some Moffat episodes were bad. Because, for those of you who don't know, people used to and still love criticizing Moffat for overdoing his episodes and just throwing a lot of shit at the wall. And I understand that criticism for Moffat, but at least I feel like with Moffat, more often than not, like at least like 70 to 80% of the time, whenever he threw something at the wall, it stuck. With Chibnall, it didn't really work out in this episode, I feel like. And honestly, I can't even really tell you what this episode was supposed to be. Like, was it supposed to be a character-based episode in which we get more backstories and more explanation about the arcs that the characters are going to be going on for this season? And maybe it seems like it's going to be the case, at least for 1 or 2 of the characters, but for the other 2, it's hard really to see exactly what they were supposed to do with the characters, or what they were trying to do with the characters in this episode. Because like the Doctor, in her visions and everything, she ends up seeing her past as the fugitive Doctor, which was actually a surprising thing, which I didn't expect to see this season, because I knew we were going to be dealing with like Swarm, who is like a villain from the Doctor's past that she doesn't remember, but somehow I didn't expect to see the fugitive Doctor show up again, you know? But she did, and it was a welcome addition. Though I really want to point out how dumb it is of Chibnall to have Jodie Whittaker play her previous version in that whole sequence in this episode. Because like, people love to proclaim how progressive Chibnall is, or at least at first people used to proclaim how much they love how progressive, or more specifically woke, his era is, because he introduced the first female Doctor, a bunch of multi-ethnic companions, and even the first black female Doctor. And he was the one who made the Doctor originally be a black girl. But the thing is, he only did it because he wanted the virtue, to be the person to do these things. He wanted to be the person that is going to be named in the future whenever the question about who was the first black female Doctor in the show, Chris Chibnall was the one to introduce that character. And it's a shame that he did it, because now we're never going to really get the impact of actually introducing the first black female Doctor, because now it's been taken away for a character that didn't really get its own season to be its own character. Because like the fugitive Doctor is nothing more than a plot device for the first white female Doctor, which is a real shame and shockingly conservative when you think about it. The first black female Doctor is nothing more than something used to support the first white female Doctor. And even in the scene that is supposed to be showing us how badass and how much of a Doctor the fugitive Doctor was, we still barely get to see that, and instead we get to see it interchangeably between Jodie and the fugitive Doctor. Which, I get what they were trying to do with that scene and the constant switch between the two. It was supposed to show that this is the doctor, like she's the doctor and they are the same person. But at the same time, you couldn't just have that whole sequence, at least at the end there, be played with the fugitive doctor's actress, to give her the spotlight at least for that one scene. But no, we just had to give it to the white woman. It's funny how if it was a white male, like if it was any prior incarnation of the Doctor taking the spotlight from the current female incarnation, people would be screaming their minds off. But because it's Jodie and because it's Chibnall, nobody really seems to be bringing this up. And maybe I'm just grasping at straws, but it just really kind of bothered me. Because for all the progressive love and progressive hype, or should I say woke, because I am a progressive person, but I am not woke. For me, woke is whenever somebody tries to appear progressive, but they are not really progressive, truly, and they're frequently shockingly conservative, but they just want to be praised, or just want the virtue of being praised as being progressive. So to me, Chibnall is woke. He's not progressive. I am progressive. But yeah, it was cool at the very least to have some more information about the division, though, as much as I don't really necessarily care about it, and I would rather remove it from canon because I hate anything and everything that has to do with the Timeless Child. But at least it kind of added some weight to this episode and some stakes that we were possibly going to learn more about the past of the Doctor, because even though I don't like the twist of the Timeless Child, I at least want to know exactly what the twist means, so I know whether I should be pissed off and even angrier than I already am, for the simple fact that it's a retcon and that the Doctor has apparently lived longer than anybody thought. So I enjoyed seeing more information about the division. But the rest of the episode was just like filler, honestly. Because for the rest of the episode we had some of Vinder's backstory, which was probably the most genuinely interesting part of this episode, for which I had no bad things to say about it. Because with the Jodie stuff and like the fugitive Doctor and everything, potentially it could have revealed some things that could have pissed me off even more. But with Vinder, it was just us learning more about his backstory. And I enjoyed that backstory. I really did. But the thing is, at the same time, I don't know why should I care about Vinder. He's not a companion. He just happened to be in the same location when the Doctor and Swarm showed up. It was just right time, right place, essentially. And that is the only reason why we care about him. I guess. I don't know. I don't understand why they think we should care about him. They haven't made him connect with any of the characters in a way where means we should care about him, really. I guess it's just we're supposed to just care about him because he's there. But it's not like in usual Doctor Who episodes where it's the characters of the week that are in some trouble and the Doctor and his companion have to save them from that trouble, thus we have to care about those characters. No, in this case it's just a random nobody who just gets intertwined in these events. And he's not even treated as a character, he doesn't really talk to the Doctor, he's not connecting with any of the characters really. Even with Yas, it's just a random talk, no questions or anything thrown at each other. And for Yas in this episode it was even worse, because her flashbacks or whatever it was didn't really do anything that we haven't learned about her before, and didn't really add anything to her character. She even says herself that these things, these flashbacks that we see, are not things that actually happened. So what the fuck was that about? It seemed like at best the only thing it was about, it was just teasers for the next episode, which she didn't even really play a role into it. So what the fuck was that the point of showing the teasers for the next episode in her episode? I don't know. But it was cool to see the Weeping Angels in a video game, for which I know that there is a video game with the Weeping Angels, Edge of Reality or whatever it's called, but from what I've heard, it's not really a great game, so I'm probably not gonna play it. Although maybe I'll check it out for myself at some point. If there is a demand for me to do something like that, if you guys want to see that, comment down below. If I get enough people interested, we could definitely do it, but for now, it's not really on my agenda. And I guess we should also mention for Dan's flashbacks in this episode, but I mean, again, it was nothing really that we didn't already see, or we didn't already know about his character, because he has this relationship with his girlfriend whose name I don't remember. But why the fuck did Azure, who is the female friend or sister of Swarm, why did she capture his girlfriend, Dan's girlfriend? I don't understand, because how the fuck would she know that Dan was gonna be there, or Dan had any connection whatsoever with the plot? Because he just accidentally ended up intertwined in these events. And on the only other thing that happened in those flashbacks was again a teaser for a future episode, which we don't really know exactly which episode it's going to be. Is it going to be episode? I think it's probably going to be episode 5, based on certain things that I've seen in the teaser about episode 5, but it's still not really clear, because we still don't know exactly what the connection with the guy who was building the tunnels in like the 1800s or the 1900s, was it? I don't remember. No, it was definitely 1900s. In like London or whatever. We still don't know what the connection with that guy is, and he showed up last episode for a scene with Yaz, and in this episode we see him in a scene with Dan, and we still don't know what the fuck that's about him, but that scene was pretty much just a teaser for a future episode. So yeah, overall this episode was just like a mess. It wasn't clear what it was trying to do, and it was just filler. There was barely anything enjoyable about it, and there was nowhere near enough jokes or moments where I was either excited by the characters being badass, like how I was for episode 4, which I'm gonna get into in the next video. I'm really I think you're really gonna enjoy my review of that episode, and there weren't really any moments where I laughed a lot, unlike episode 2 and episode 4 as well. So yeah, this one is easily the worst episode out of the 4 that I've seen so far. I'm including Village of the Angels as well, because that one was a really good one. But this one, Once Upon a Time, was just garbage. It was just boring, it was just confusing. And as some people have pointed out, people loved Chibnall or defended Chibnall's writing in Series 11, especially because Doctor Who had become too complex and too fan-wonky during Moffat's era. It had become too much for the fans and not really enjoyable by the casual viewers. So everybody praised Chibnall and defended him for any criticisms because, well, it's supposed to be more friendly to the casual audience, so it's gonna be more simplistic or whatever. Okay, how is this simplistic? Or have you now changed your tune about it and you don't care whether it's appealing to the casual audience or not? Because this was confusing for me as a hardcore Whovian. God knows how any random person who just turned the TV on the channel is going to feel about this episode, not having followed any of the previous few episodes, let alone the rest of the show. So yeah, this was a confusing mess, and I can't really see how anybody can enjoy it, frankly. It was just a mess. Like, there's parts of it that you can certainly enjoy, but as a whole, it was just a mess. A confusing and boring mess. Which is why, in terms of the rating, even by Chibnall standards, I mean, again, I still think it's better than most of his other episodes because there's no annoying morals shoved into the episode, or there's just no moments that really piss me off or anything. But it was just confusing, and because of that, it's also really hard to grasp exactly how one should feel about this episode, because depending on where the story goes in the final 2 episodes, it could change the opinion of this one, but I very much doubt it. So yeah, in terms of a rating for this one, I'm going to give it, in terms of Chibnall episodes, I don't know, a 7 out of 10? I feel like maybe I'm rating it a little bit high because again I didn't really enjoy it anywhere near as much for the War of the as compared to War of the Sontarans and Village of the Angels, but I think it's far above any other Chibnall episode. So yeah, there's that. But in terms of Doctor Who as a whole, this one was like a straight up 5 at best. It's probably worse, but I'll give it like a 5 because I gave it a 7, and usually for these episodes, if you compare them to the rest of Doctor Who, it's about 2 points lower, so it's gonna be a 5 out of 10. But yeah, what did you guys think about this episode? Comment down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 3 patrons on Patreon: Omari Bridgman, Deathpool, and Lemonade. Thank you guys for supporting me, it really means a lot. I hope you continue to enjoy my content for a long time and you continue to support me on my Patreon for a long time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out in the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad or post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon where you can place support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think that's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!